Hey, what's up? I'm Amina Rose, and this is Amina Seen It. Today, we're talking about the movie Shirley from Shirley Chisholm. You sold me when you told me it was being played by Regina King, and you threw Terrence Howard in there as a bonus. It's taking place in about 1972, where Shirley Chisholm decides to run for president. Now, I guess they expected us to already know. They filled in the blank that she was a school teacher and she ended up in the Senate chair. I would have liked a lot more background on her growing up and the difficulties she faced. The real story, not the real story, because the presidential campaign was a big deal. However, I would have loved to know how she went from a teacher to a congresswoman. How did she meet her husband? Were they ever in love? This is a spoiler alert. Hopefully everyone has already seen the movie because we're really discussing this. Because I definitely want to know your opinion too. I felt like they got the true essence of the 70s. Matter of fact, this is extremely embarrassing. Before she received a park in Brooklyn, it's called the Cheryl Chisholm Park, I did not know who this woman was. And I didn't even know she ran for president until the movie was coming out. So they really did sweep her away as if she was nothing. And originally, I'm like, well, why wasn't the movie released for Black History Month and instead released for Women's Month? It's not until I got to the end, baby, that I realized, oh, it needs to stay in Women's Month. But we start off with her and her sister having a bad relationship. They're not really speaking. And she's being celebrated for receiving the Congress seat. She was the first Black woman. And this is the thing. It is extremely hard when you are the first to do anything. You know why? Because everyone calls you unstable. So you not only have to prove to them, you got to prove to yourself. And there is no map that tells you how to do it. And that is what amazed me so much about this young lady. So I am 100% on board that they did a movie with her. It was a bit dry in a lot of places. And honestly, I didn't realize it was a good movie to the end when I was like, oh my God, I want to cry, which is crazy because it's like, where did that come from? In the movie, I was like fading out at some points, but there was a lot of dry things going on. She taught her youth coordinator, which was a young white male that was in college, how to speak up for himself. She was a big part of his career and life, and she taught him how to do things that he never did, especially when she told him to take credit for the young man that you actually are. Be proud of your achievements. He was constantly trying to throw it off. Now, while in law school, she had him sue NBC for not letting her properly do a debate she was scheduled to do. And he won. There was a lot of geniuses on her campaign. So she opened a lot of doors. Now, Arthur, who is played by Terrence Howard, told you I was sold when I heard his name also. He makes sure she eats day in and out. And he guards that door like a guard dog. She's eating. And you know what? I took it as this lady forgets to eat sometimes because she's so busy running around and she's always interrupted. He makes sure that she gets a few minutes to herself every day. I like the team and the chemistry that they had. And I thought they had chemistry. And then I was like, no, I don't think so. How she ended up divorcing her husband afterwards and marrying Arthur. So we see in the campaign, there was sexism, racism, scaredism. You know what? Because that is a real thing. If people can't see themselves achieving it, then they really can't see it for you. So she had a lot of Black congressmen that were supposed to go to bat for her. And at the end, they sold their own ticket to the white male party rather than give it to Shirley Chisholm, and she actually had a chance. And this is why I realized that it was not in Black History Month, because she was stabbed in the back by a lot of Black men. And just when she thought she was out of the LA race, Huey Newton decides to meet with her in, get this, Diane Carroll's home. Now, I've seen a lot of movies that Diane Carroll did. She is a beautiful actress. I knew she was involved in politics, but not this heavily. The actress that they got to play her, I've seen her before. She is beautiful as well. And she does favor Diane Carroll in the movie. I have a question, guys, and I need someone to answer this. Well, I had a question, but it was answered at the end. But can an extremely strong woman or a female president actually have a strong husband? Because, baby, her husband and her were silently going at it in the movie. You saw that they were separate most of the time. They'll come together, they'll do a speech, they'll hold hands. Immediately after the camera stops, they pull away. I'm like, at this rate, they can't get divorced because she's running. But he looks so unhappy and she looks so miserable. Now, again, I really would have liked them to show something about her childhood and stuff, but I had to look it up. She is Guyanese mixed with Bayesian, because I was like, where does that work ethic come from? Her father told her she could be anyone and she believed it. And the thing is, she got through a lot of doors. This is why she was the first of everything, because she did not let anyone tell her no. So at some point, you have to say, she's not crazy and she's capable of anything. My rating for Shirley Chisholm, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. It was a movie that needed to be done. I think that they could have captured more than the presidential election. They could have really done a straight movie from, younger, even how she left her job and gave up everything to be a senator. I would love to see that fight too. But I mean, they could have mixed it all together, Too bad she wasn't alive to actually see the movie. Well, we knew she wasn't president. And that's the thing. So they ran it on something that we already knew the outcome from the time it started. So we felt like, no surprise here. How did she lose? But from her campaign, an extreme amount of successful people and a lot of doors opened up. So I personally want to say to Shirley Chisholm, thank you and rest in peace. This has been Amina Seen It. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what other videos y'all want to see. Have a good one.